Why, hello there, Lightning. What brings you here today?
Hey, Doc. Nice to see you again. Wish it were on normal terms, though, I'll admit.
Oh? Something's been troubling you, Blissy?
Well, other than the obvious fact that you once again told me not to work on any more TF2 videos and let somebody else, like Mastercode or Finn, do it. I suppose, yes. There have been troubling thoughts weighing on my mind.
Ah, yes, I should have remembered that. I know we've touched on this somewhat in the past, but you say there is much more that is discouraging you today?
I've been discouraged on this topic for the longest time, and I know we've had discussions about it multiple times here and there, even outside of your office. But lately I've noticed while there have been some improvements on me wanting to let go control of things, I've also come to a conclusion why I so badly do not want to release my grip on it. And for better or worse, I realize fear is a driving force in all of it. And it's all because of past stressful events that occurred in my youth, in the beginnings when I first joined our community, and overall, perhaps not valuing my own self-worth. I would like to think after today of talking about this, some might come to understand why I don't want to release control over things.
I know this is a rather troubling subject for you, Lightning, and to be honest, I think I may even relate to some of your same fears. But please, tell me what's on your mind.
I remember not having this fear as much in the beginning when I first started doing videos and artwork. Originally it was for fun and a blind hope that maybe it would help me get some notice in the field of animation. But now it's developed into what it is today through encouragement of our friends, the fans, and my own hard work that I'm scared of losing it. I'm scared of losing my grit or talent or even why can't I just be allowed to do everything like I was able to in the past? Why has it gotten so much harder? It's supposed to be fun and bring joy to others, and I know it is. But every single time, whenever another promising talent approaches me to offer their assistance, or someone offers their talents to assist us in other collaborative projects like the TF2 series, I get so defensive, so fearful, and I hate that. I wish it never had to happen every time someone offered their aid in our projects, or mine. You say it's good to be helping others, and I do believe that, and yet here, for some reason, I barely still tolerate it, if at all. And even now, I'm gritting my teeth in fear that if I admit these reasons as to why, that I'm somehow going to fulfill this self-made prophecy of being replaced. Because it was so easy to happen in the past for me. After all, who wants to deal with a tied-up knot of rainbow anxiety when someone else of much more talent and peace of mind is probably better to assist us on our future projects? It didn't matter how well I did my work or had fun with it back then. Others still abandoned me regardless. What's to stop that from repeating itself again?
You speak of a fear of being replaced, of not being needed anymore. Were there any times you felt this way before meeting all of us, Blissy? When that fear might have come true?
Unfortunately, yes. It had to be more than 5 years ago, before I officially made my first video. I had met a group of other bronies who were, honestly, what I thought was the best group of friends I could ever ask for at the time. Even Sub-Zero befriended them alongside with me. Back then, I didn't have many friends other than Subby, whom I recently married at the time, and a few scattered friends from a game that I actually never had any opportunities of meeting up with in real life. So, having more friends was kinda a big deal for us. For me. We shared stories and played games together, We even called each other on Skype daily like I would with my current friends today. We shared ideas for fanfics of our characters having adventures, talked about the show, talked about our lives. We had such a good time together. Then one day, I thought about sharing my thoughts about Generation 1 of My Little Pony on my YouTube channel, since many didn't seem to know much about it. These friends encouraged me to do it, and even stated that others were doing the same idea I had. Now that I think about it, this was the engine starter to how I came across your channel, Doc, or Golden Fox, even the rest of our friends. They knew you before I did, and told me to watch and get ideas even. So for the next year, they encouraged me to do what I wanted, to make videos, share my thoughts about the show. In fact, I made some old videos of our group playing together in forms of animation to show my appreciation for them. Those very same videos are in fact still on my channel today, as a constant reminder of what I used to have with them. They were over the moon for me. They were so proud, they said, saying I had great talent and that I should continue to share it with others, since they knew how much I loved it too. Then, eventually, I met a lot of our circle of friends today and began sharing my ideas with them, who were just as interested in reviewing or animating or telling stories as I was. Again, Doc, they said they were happy for me. They were the first ones to encourage me to proceed down this path. But then, one day, after over a year of their encouragement, they suddenly just ghosted me.
Oh, goodness. I'm so very sorry to hear that, Lightning. I don't know if you had told me of that when it happened. Had you been able to contact any of them since?
When it happened, I honestly thought it was a glitch in our group Skype chat. So I checked our Steam group account, and I was blocked from that. I went to one of our local forum hangouts, and the account for it was closed down. I was even blocked by them on my My Little Pony forums page. I had no idea what was going on. Nobody told me anything. Until finally, I spotted a single comment from one of them on one of my videos. And it stated, "Princess of Rainbows? More like Princess of Friendship Breaking." Then, a few days later, after me trying to reach out to them for an explanation, one of them finally did reach out to me. To this day, I still don't understand why they said it or would even believe it. But in short summary, they stopped talking to me and stopped being friends with each other because they said I did nothing but work all the time. Barely spent any time with them, and I was the only reason why they were all friends to begin with. To quote the end of their final message, "You were the glue that kept us together. You abandoned us."
That is quite the tale. I can understand why you felt so hesitant to talk about this for so long, Lightning Bliss. I'm not really sure what I could say to help here. As you stated, these friends helped you to break out of your shell, encouraged you to upload your first videos. Without them, you may never have met the rest of us. It is clear that you still have fond memories spending time with them, even if it is weighed down by their abandoning you. I can understand why you've held on to that time in your life, even though it hurts. I am personally so very grateful for your friendship and for everything we've worked on over the years. I think I see a little more as to why you've grown more and more focused and even dependent on keeping yourself busy with both artwork and editing. You found a passion that brought you so much joy while also challenging your talents, allowing you to grow, which in turn made you want to continue improving through such joy and challenge. I don't know whether this will be of any consolation right now, but given my own experiences of always wanting to feel needed, even a fear of being left alone without anyone to help, I do believe that we inevitably gravitate towards those we want to be more like. We may influence our friends, but our friends will continue to influence us. That may, at least in part, be a reason why you wanted to spend more and more of your time working on projects alongside friends. You found those you admired, who in turn admired you, while at the same time finding a greater challenge and thus a greater joy in what you saw yourself becoming. But I don't know how much I could say that would alleviate your fears of not being needed. I will say, however, that you do much to help many of us feel needed. Of that I'm quite sure.
It does feel good to know that there are those, our friends, do need me or even want me here. It is a good feeling to have, and the heavens know that I don't want to lose the friendships here that I've made, but I would never want to force the friendships if they weren't wanted. This is why, after that last message, I respected their wishes and never spoke to them again. They ghosted me, and they were clearly angry with me to the point that no reconcile could be reached. Now that you have some context, Doc, I hope you and the others see why I cling to having control so much. Because in that situation, I didn't have any of it. It was so easy for them to let me go. Not even give me a chance to talk things out with them. Even after I worked so hard for them, I made videos and animations to show them how I appreciated our friendship. And yet they still walked away from it. No matter how many times they encouraged me to follow this path, or them knowing how much fun I had, it never amounted enough to them to keep what we had together. It was almost like it was a lie. So I work hard now. I strive to do more, to push my limits, to try new things that create new visuals to my work, feelings within my scripts, entertainment to those who enjoy what we do. And I don't want others taking that away from me because maybe I felt that's all I had at the time when they left. It was so easy for them to walk away from it after all we've been through together. And while I don't believe any of our friends would repeat the same event, the fear is still there. So any challenge to my work or abilities, a challenger I suppose you could say, was to step up and do things better, or offer their services where I cannot. It didn't stop my former friends from leaving me when I was in my rookie days of editing and doing everything for them, being their glue, as they put it. What is stopping my friends now from leaving me behind? I can't just let up control now. Not with that fear planted in the back of my head. And I know change is inevitable and growing being optional. I don't deny this. But I guess that's why I partially strive to keep improving. Because I'm trying to prove to others that I'm still worth being around. That I'm still worth being a friend to. It's not a fair mindset on myself or to put on the rest of you, though, and I am sorry for that.
Unfair, perhaps, but far from unrelatable. I suppose the best way I've ever known how to help you with this mindset is by encouraging you to take time for yourself, even asking others who are closer to you to keep you from getting too involved with your work at the expense of your well-being. I am grateful for Sub-Zero's constant presence in your life. I am grateful for each of our friends who check up on you, even if just to have a chat. And to be honest, I think I'm even grateful for my willingness to be a little hard on you at times when it comes to feeding yourself. I can understand that fear of losing those you worked so hard for. I can understand that fear of no longer being needed. It's a voice in the back of our minds that will never completely go away. But I do trust in you, Lightning Bliss. It reminds me a bit of one of my favorite scenes from the series Fruits Basket, that each of us has a jewel on our backs that can only be seen by others. It can be quite discouraging to look down at ourselves and not be able to see our own value. But we can see your value, Blissy. Whether or not you are hard at work on a project with us, I can say with a surety that you will always have value.
I am also reminded of a scene from Fruits Basket. A teacher stated in a letter to Kisa Soma, "One must learn to love oneself." But it was countered with, "It's not that simple." It's hard to see our value on our own without those that support us to see it for us. That "I care about you" or "we love you" helps one to see how they are valued. It's hard to love yourself if you don't have others to say they feel for you in that format. Whether a love in partners or in friendships, simply having someone say, "I care about you," or in this case, "you will always have value," is something extremely important to me, and probably to others that might be experiencing the same feelings. I'm not saying we should learn to appreciate and love ourselves, but it really helps to know others feel the same way about you too. But I've held on to this fear for a long time, and I know it won't go away so easy. Even now as I sit here in front of you, just talking about it, and fearing one day this could all end. But having hope or even faith that things will work out in the end is all I can do. The world keeps turning after all. Oh, and maybe try not to work myself to the point I worry all of you. That's the last thing I want to make my friends do, after knowing how much you do all care about me. But it's hard to kick old habits, cling to what I know, the fear of failure that lingers, to always do what I can. I guess I'm rambling at this point, though. What am I saying? Maybe this is a step of me admitting this fear. That it's the first to learn how to let it go.
I can only imagine how long of a journey this might be for you. But I too am glad to see that you're taking that first step. Is there another time, perhaps, that you'd like to discuss any of this further, Lightning?
Perhaps. I just hope I didn't hurt feelings admitting to all of this. I do value my friendships, and I don't ever want to do what my former friends did, and have reckless abandon. I would never want to put somebody through what I experienced. So, maybe I should stop fearing it will happen here as well.
Thank you kindly for your words of wisdom. Do let me know if there's anything else that may be on your mind, Lightning Bliss. My door will always be open.
I'll do my best to take you up on that, Doc. Take care, and thanks for hearing me out.
Glad to be of service. It is good to be helping.